Hi folks, my name is Mr. Kuchak and I am your art teacher. Before we begin, let me go over our class rules. We have 3 rules at Elk Lake. Be ready, be responsible, be respectful. We are ready in the art room when we come in, sit in our assigned seats, and get quiet so that we can learn about art. We are responsible in the art room when we follow directions and take care of our supplies, and we clean up any of our messes. We are respectful when we use kind words like please and thank you, and when we value other students' artwork. Supplies you will need for today's lesson. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Hi folks, today we are going to be working on our duct tape wallet. So our wallet is going to have a few parts to it. We're going to have an outside, an inside, and our pocket side. We're also going to go over some of the different types of pockets that we can make, whether it's an ID pocket or just a regular pocket. Some of them might have hidden pockets or like key pockets inside. So there's a few different accessories or add-ons that we can do with these. The first thing that we need to do is, first of all, cut our duct tape. And we have here our pattern. Now our pattern has a few other things on there. First of all, this is the size of the actual wallet that you need. There's also some words that say pockets and sides on there. Don't worry about that just yet. First, we want to cut our duct tape. And like I showed before, if you haven't seen the other videos, please feel free. We start first with cutting our duct tape. So because this is a plastic top table, we can just stick that duct tape right there. We can pull the duct tape nice and tight. And what I'd like to do with these cardboard forms is if I just kind of put my scissors on the outside of it, then I'll make sure that it's always big enough. Too big so that we can trim it is better than too short. Now this is going to take probably about 4 to 5 pieces of duct tape per side. So I find it's much easier to do one side and then cut the other side. The only problem that we run into then is we got to be really careful with making sure that the duct tape does not get stuck and get ruined. I'll show you an example of one where it kind of got ruined in just a minute. So now that's 4 pieces of duct tape, and let's see how that lines up. So when we're doing our pattern, once again, we're not taping our pattern around the cardboard because we need the cardboard to give us all of our dimensions. We take our first one and we line it up even with the top. We take our next one, we bring this right in and we overlap it a little bit. And we drop that down and it's going to stay right where it's at, even though it fell down a little bit on me. That's okay. I'm going to come in with my next one, go right on top. And let's see if I can get away with 4 here. I might here. This is why sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. It just depends on how much room is there. Now when I overlap, you can see I'm still a little short. So I'm just going to cut one more just to make it 5, to make it a lot easier. So I'm going to cut this last one. Tape there, and this way I'll line that up. And I'll just make it a little bit longer to make the cutting part a little bit easier. Now this I am going to put over on the side because I am very, very worried that something's going to fall on top and go right across, or the pattern's going to get stuck in there, or the scissors. There's so much that can go wrong when you have just that duct tape sitting up with all of that sticky. So now I'm going to cut 5 pieces of duct tape. And once again, I like to just hang them on the side of the table because that makes things a whole lot easier for me, especially when we're worried about things sticking together. So since that one took 5, I'm guessing this one's also going to take 5. If you have an extra piece cut, not a big deal. We can always make a pocket out of it. 4. I'm running out of room here. And one more. And there is number 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of clean my space up a little bit and get ready to start sticking duct tape on there. Because these are all overlapped, I'm going to start at the top and I'm just going to work my way down. So because I'm working from the top, I want to watch I don't stick my arm in there. So I'm keeping my arm off on the side. I'm bringing my duct tape in and over, and I bring it lower, lower, lower. Once again, I'm holding it not like this. I'm not where it's like kind of flexible. I want it nice and sturdy. I come right in, go up to the top, and I'm going to drop that in. It's okay if there's a little piece because we made it a little bit bigger so that we can cut it. Well, I'm going to come in with my next piece, overlap that, and you can see by pulling it, you're keeping it nice and tight. You're getting a nice shape to it. And we are almost done here. One more down here at the bottom. Now, if you look at this, there's some pieces that are big, some pieces that are small. Doesn't matter. All we really need is one good section. So this is my best side, so I'm going to make sure I do any tracing, any cutting on this side to make sure that that's where the mistakes go. Now, I put my pattern on there. You can see it's bigger, which is perfectly fine. I'm just going to run my Sharpie around the edges, and that will clean up any mistakes that I might have had. Any of this extra duct tape, once again, just throw in the garbage. You're not going to need any of this hanging around. It's just going to get stuck while you're trying to cut things. So I'm going to cut the ends first because those are going to be the hardest ones to cut because of the overlaps. Because you're cutting like in some spots like 2 and 4 pieces of duct tape. Then these should be a lot easier. I'm going to cut these right down. And then I'm going to cut these right down. Now, once again, clean up your spot. Get ready for the next part, which is the folding and the sealing. Your duct tape wallet should not look like this before we get going. You know, if it has fallen apart to this point, you know, don't take duct tape that's all curled up and put in there and it's sideways and, you know, some of it doesn't line up and it's really floppy. It should be pretty sturdy. Like this is a pretty sturdy sheet of duct tape right now. So when you're working, take your time, use some craftsmanship, really concentrate and focus on what you're trying to get done. So the next thing we need to do is do the sides. So on this tells us right here that the sides go from here right to the middle. So that is basically one whole side, which means if we put our piece of tape down and we cut it longer, and we move that, we can come right into the middle. I don't want to block this on you. So I'm going to come right into the middle, right where that centerpiece is. I'm going to cut that so that I have 2 sides. You can see it lines up side, side. Now, the way that I do my sides is I put my piece of duct tape down first, and then I find the bad side. You know, this side isn't that bad. There's some wrinkles and stuff in there, but that's going to be the inside where no one's going to see. Then I take one side and I line it up so that it's nice and perfect. So I want that nice and clean edge up here and here. I hold that, I put it about halfway, and then I slide it to the edge, I pick it up, and I roll it. And then I seal that down really good. Don't worry about cutting anything yet, but this is what it should look like, where it's kind of sealed up. Then I'm going to do the same thing to this other side. The reason why we don't try to do like both at the same time or something like that is because if you cut it a little strange or it just turned a little bit when you were cutting, sometimes it might not be even. If it's not even, this is the time where we fix that. So we make this side even now. We put that right down, slide it, roll it, stick it. Slide, roll, stick. So now basically you have a duct tape taco. So to clean up the taco, we have to do two things. Number one, we don't want to cut into the bottom of our wallet or the top, because that's where we then have holes. So I'm trying to line my scissors up so that it follows right here, this top edge. I'm going to trim. I get rid of that. I bring this over and I do my top edge, and I get that out of there. And then you can see it's still sealed up still. So all I'm going to do is pull it, and that will open it up. But now I have the bottom to worry about. Now the bottom, this is when normally people cut into the wallet. Please don't do that. All you have to do, follow the edge like you did on the top. That's why. Do the top first, because you get less chance that you're going to cut into something, and then just press that duct tape down. Once again, take your scissors, do a little trim, press that duct tape down, and now you have a wallet. You could stop there and have a really nice shape. But we all like pockets, and we all want to put some pockets on there. There's a few different ways to make pockets. I have this little handy dandy chart here. So a pocket is the whole length of this pattern here. So a pocket goes the whole length because you have to seal it up, and you use half of it then. So pockets, just normal pockets, you can see we fold them in half, and they're going to look something like this, where it's almost like a little mini sheet of duct tape that will go in here on either side. We'll talk a little bit about where to tape for the hidden pockets, or for the key pockets, or the credit card ones. And we'll also talk about making an ID pocket too. So that brings out some other tape that we need. You're going to need some clear tape for any of the ID pockets. But first, let's just make a regular pocket. So first thing I do is I cut my tape. Now, because I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4 different pockets, I'm going to cut 4 pieces of tape right now, just so that I don't have to keep stopping and cutting more and cutting more and cutting more. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there is number 4. Now, before I finish that up, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one more kind of longish piece. Then, this is going to get torn into strips. So to tear it into strips, I hold it in the middle, and then I'm going to push one hand one way, one hand the other way, and I'm going to do it quick. And that will tear it easily into strips, because duct tape kind of has a grain to it where it wants to tear that way, but not side to side. So our first pocket is going to be just our regular, we'll call this our credit card pocket. This side has a couple little bubbles in it. This side is nice and clean. This is probably one of the best ones I've ever made. So we want to use this side because the pockets are going to cover up everything in there. So the way that I do this is I take a piece of duct tape and I put the ends together. Then what I found is if I take a pencil and just roll it back, then I have a nice little kind of mini sheet of duct tape. And remember, a pocket's going to be about the same size as the side. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to trim this up. There we go. And then I have to think about how a credit card pocket's going to be used. So a credit card pocket, you're going to put things in from the top, and you don't want it to fall down, or you don't want it to fall out the sides. So to fix that in place, that means I need to put tape here, I need to put tape here, and I need to put tape there. So those 3 places need some tape, and that's where this comes in very handy, having this already kind of pre-made. So my first one is going to go right about there. So I'm going to cut that, and then, whoops, I'm going to put the side on first. Put the side on. Whoops. Oh no. Duct tape likes to stick to everything, even itself. I'm going to put this next one in, and I'm just going to trim this right there because I already messed up some of that. Let's see if I can open that up a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to put one right across the bottom. I'm going to trim that up. And that way, we now have a pocket that you can hold gift cards in there, you can hold credit card in there, you can hold whatever you need. Now, what if you wanted kind of a hidden pocket where you wanted to be able to hide some money in the side, or like a GameStop gift card or something like that, so your brother or sister didn't see it? Well, we start off with the same type of pocket. So we are going to take and put these together. Then we seal them up. Now, that's why I make them a little bit bigger, because I know I'm going to trim them anyway. So then I'm going to cut there. I cut this off. And now, what I do with this one is I put it a little bit below. If I was just going to do a row of credit card pockets, I'd probably give myself probably about a finger's width in there so that you can reach in without trying to pull out the other one. But this one, because I want it kind of hidden, I'm going to put it like right about here, so my next one will go here and here. So this one gets taped here, here, and here. So I'm going to find my tape first. I'm going to put that right even, so then that blends right in. That's the whole trick with the hidden one. You want it to blend in. And then I'm going to do the bottom. I'm going to seal that up. And then I have this piece left over from last time. And that's going to go right on the top. And what that lets you do is that lets you put anything you need right into there. You also have this top one there. So you kind of have almost a double pocket where you have a hidden one and one right there. Now, what if you wanted to put like a house key in there so that you didn't have to worry about like losing it, or you wanted just to put some change into your pocket? Well, that's where we do this. We take, put it together, roll it up, and then we have to do a little bit of measuring. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. We don't want it to stick up because then it might get caught on something and might get pulled out of your pocket. So we want it below your pocket. So if we do this, where we just make a little mark, we know we have to cut below there. So I'm going to cut maybe about a thumb's width below there. The easiest way to then visualize it is just to put it here and say, okay, that way my key will go in there, but I want it all the way at the bottom so then the key's not kind of sliding around. Then what I do is I'm going to split this in half. I'm going to put a piece of tape there and a piece of tape there. I open this up. Remember, you want your tape on there first. If your tape's not on there, it's really difficult to get it in there because it wants to stick to everything. Also, what I've seen some students do is put it right in the middle, but then you can't fold your wallet if you have a key in there. So you want it to one side or the other. I'm going to put it towards this side because I really don't have anything on this side yet. I'm going to slide it all the way into the bottom, squish it down, and then that way that will hold a key or some change in there easily. The last one that I wanted to go over was your ID pocket. Once again, start off the same way. Take and squish your tape together. Now that one came out really, really nice. It's the same size. I don't even have to worry about cutting anything off. Got really lucky there. Then what we want to do is we want to fold it in half. Once again, just take it, fold it in half, and then you want to be able to see through this, which should tell you what letter I want you to draw. The letter C. Draw the letter C so that the C is eating the fold of the wallet. So this opening of the C is right there. You don't want the C towards the part that's here. So if you look at that, the C is facing in, just like a regular C. This is where you want to keep it in half and cut. I'm going to turn, and I'm going to turn, and then I'm done. Now you have your start of your ID. If it came out this way, if it looks like the letter I, you did it wrong because you cut towards the ends. It has to look like the letter C. C for correct, C through it, however you want to think about that, it will work. Now, what I do with my clear tape is I just tape it right to the table. I find it's so much easier. It comes out straighter, it comes out flatter, and this tape isn't as sticky as some of the other ones. So I'm going to wipe that right down, and then I'm going to take my last one, I'm going to put it on top, and I'm going to squish it down. Then all I do is I pick it up, and you can see it comes off the table real easy. Take another piece of tape, go right over, take another piece of tape, go right over, take another piece of tape, go right over, and then squish it down so that it becomes see-through. Once that's done, we take our scissors, we trim, and then we figure out where we want to put it. So, do you want it on the same side as your hidden pocket? Well, remember, if you do that and you go over the sides, you just sealed up your hidden pocket. So the ID pocket is normally better here. Sometimes people like to put another credit card pocket behind it and then put the ID on top. That's probably a great idea. So I'm going to just put that one there. I'm going to cut some more tape. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to pull it. And then I'm going to make sure that this part that's all red is actually facing down so that I don't see that. I'll put my tape in. I'm going to trim this up. I'm going to put my tape in. And then I'll trim this part up. And then I need one more long piece. I'll put that in the bottom. And I will trim that up, which will give me my wallet. So now that I have my wallet all ready, now it's ready for the designs. So where you want to put your designs is out here on the outside. Now, some people like to do some other fun little things with it. Like after it's all done, if it's not sitting flat, sometimes people will make a little flap and put it on there so that it closes. The only problem is after a while, of course, that stick is going to get worn out and then you're just going to have a little flap on there. So as long as you have it in your pocket and you're sitting on it, you'll flatten it, no problem. The only problem that you're going to run into is with any type of design on there. If you don't use the clear tape and seal it up, it will wipe right off and it could get on your clothes, especially if you're using something permanent like Sharpie. So make sure you take your clear tape and you go over your design to lock it in. That way it's locked in place and it will be in there nice and neat for you to be able to use. So that is the duct tape wallet. I hope you're able to try that out and maybe come up with some new pockets and come up with some new designs and new things that you can put onto your wallet. So good luck with it. Can't wait to see what you make. Have a great day, everybody.